Hi, welcome to AmalgamNation. This week's vid is about Total Annihilation. I'd like to apologise for the lack of interesting gameplay footage. I was having so much fun playing the single player campaign mode of this game that I forgot to record any of it. I apologise for this. This was one of the first PC games I ever played. Even to this day I enjoy playing it, as I just stated there by mentioning I forgot to record any footage of the single player campaign mode. TA, as I call it for short, is a strategy game that was released in the 90s. I came across it randomly in a game shop and bought it instantly. At the time I had no idea whether it was going to be a good game or not, and I never regretted it. Unlike other strategy games, there is no major advantage to choosing one side over the other. Both armies are pretty evenly matched. This game is a mech-based strategy game. You have buildings to gather resources needed to build your army. The resources you use as mechs are energy and metal. Your primary mech is the commander. If your commander falls in combat, then you lose. Your commander has the same abilities as the enemy commander. He's your primary construction bot. He has an overpowered attack and can even be made completely invisible. These overpowered abilities are kept in balance in a simple way. The overpowered attack is a one-hit kill for most structures and enemy units, except for the other commander, but it takes time for it to power up. The invisibility, however, requires a lot of energy to maintain and is, in my opinion, therefore best used sparingly. Like all strategy games, you have your different kinds of troops. In this case, you have your bots and vehicles for land, you have aircraft for air combat, and lastly, you have some naval units for combat and water. Each of the different types of unit have their own construction bot, which will construct more advanced versions of the buildings associated with those. So you have an advanced mech lab for building mechs, for example. This game has a detailed background story or lore behind it. The two sides are the arm and the core. They were once like us, but when they developed the ability to transfer their consciousness into robotic bodies, a war broke out over it. The core demanded that everyone have their consciousness implanted into robotic bodies, and the arm disagreed strongly and refused to leave their biological bodies. The war that broke out has lasted for 4 millennia and is still ongoing. The core fight using an army of robots powered by human consciousness, and the arm fight using vehicles piloted by clones. When you start the game, both sides of the conflict are crippled, and the only way to end the conflict is the total annihilation of their enemies. A few things you should know about this game. The physics of this game are brilliant even now. If your troops have to ascend a steep hill, they will tilt to meet the hill's angle and make their way up it. Also, if your army has the high ground, then your troops and defences can fire on targets that are further away than normal. Things like artillery shells are affected by the gravity of the planet you are fighting on. The gravity changes from planet to planet. Energy gathering is primarily done by solar generators, but there are also thermal plants and wind turbines and other different methods of gathering the energy. Before each mission you are given a report about said mission, and on the screen there are details about the area the mission is to take place in. Details like the wind speed of the area. This information can help you decide whether it's a good idea to build wind turbines instead of solar generators. Metal can only be extracted from certain points on each map. These points are easily spotted when on maps that have plant life, as they appear as shiny blue metallic areas in an otherwise green terrain. There are however planets or maps where you are in an entirely metallic area and can gather more than enough metal for your needs. That's all I have to say about this game. If you like strategy games, give it a look. As always, remember, play the game and game to play.